Imagine this. You live in Calgary and it's summer of 82 and it's a really hot day, and what do? Well, you of course go to the Bonsai Waterpark. And what's that you say you've never heard of Bonsai or you've never seen it around in quite a while? Well, that's why today we're going to be taking a look back into the past to when Calgary had its very own outdoor water park. So of course, let's travel back to 1982. And here we are now back in 1982, which this is the time when water parks were really on the rise in North America. Basically, everywhere wanted to have one of these. Like, even in places around Calgary, if you look, like Chestermere got a water park, Red Deer got one, even the West Edmonton Mall built one. And Calgary, of course, followed along this trend as in 1982, a new water park known as Bonsai would open up in the city. And this new water park would open in Hasbro at the intersection of McLeod Trail and Heritage Drive. And Bonsai, when it opened, was not the most crazy water park out there. It included 4 large slides, a tube slide, a kiddie pool with 2 smaller slides, a hot tub, washrooms, change rooms with lockers, and of course a concession stand. And even though it wasn't the biggest or craziest water park out there, it's still a fun spot that Calgarians could go to in the summer to take a break from the heat. The water park was of course built by a Calgary entrepreneur by the name of Wayne Henusett after he saw the rise in popularity of water parks all across British Columbia. But the thing is, even though the water park trend was on the rise in British Columbia, to try and bring that to Alberta wasn't really the best option. In British Columbia, especially the farther west you go, there's a much better climate for water parks. It's much warmer for a more larger part of the year compared to here in Alberta, which the warmer season is much shorter compared to British Columbia. And the owner of Bonsai here in Calgary figured out a couple ways to try and save money to get around this large season where the park would be not profitable. One thing, of course, is with the landlord, he actually signed a deal where they only had to pay the landlord when the water park was actually open. He also ran the place on a very tight budget, hiring only a few employees and, of course, cutting costs as much as possible. And even though Bonsai was a big success in the 80s, a lot of other water parks in Alberta started to experience some financial difficulties, and a lot of them began just closing down. Like, if you look at other water parks around Calgary, you could really tell that they were not making money. Like in Sylvan Lake, the Wild Rapids water park was almost going to be closed, or Surf City and Chestermere needed a bunch of investors to keep it going, or even the Riverside Amusement Park in Medicine Hat needed upwards of 150 grand to keep its water park running. So of course, at this time, the owner of Bonsai Water Park decided to sell it off to new owners, which unfortunately the new owners were not able to reopen the business the financial year and ended up closing the water park in 1986. And then by the end of the decade, pretty much every water park in Alberta was just shut down, except for the World Water Park in the West Edmonton Mall, which was able to make money all throughout the year with it being an indoor water park. Of course, moving into the future, the operator of this Bonsai Water Park in Calgary went on to open the Willow Park Wine and Spirit, which is the single largest liquor retailer in all of Canada. But then taking a look at where the water park used to be, nothing has really changed since the water park closed. Of course, all these structures and water slides were taken out, but looking there today, you can still see the old parking lot, which often has a Christmas tree lot set up in at Christmas time, and you can still find a lot of old concrete footers and some of the old trees still just sitting there on the site of this old water park. And you can even still find the concrete outlines for the old hot tubs and pools, which have since been filled in with dirt. Anyways, it's very interesting just to look at this empty plot of land and imagine how once, for 4 years back in the 80s, Calgary used to have its very own outdoor water park. And it really sucks that the new owners were not able to get this operational again, because with how cheap it was to run this place, it probably could have lasted a lot longer, and maybe we could have still even seen it there today. Anyways, Bonsai will now just live in the minds of many Calgarians, was very short-lived, but still a big piece of Calgary history. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.